Jiminverse family, welcome back to Jiminverse. Today, we have a JIKOOK update that is getting a lot of attention, especially because the timing could not be more interesting. Jimin and Jungkook are heading toward Canada. And yes, the timing lines up with BTS's highly anticipated Toronto dates on August 22 and 23. But before we get carried away by headlines, there is one important distinction we need to make right from the beginning. The Toronto concerts are officially confirmed, while the specific claim that Jimin and Jungkook will arrive first for a separate special sponsor schedule needs to be treated carefully unless and until it is officially confirmed by Big Hit Music, the artists, or the sponsor involved. And honestly, Jiminverse family, that distinction makes this story even more interesting. Because sometimes the biggest JIKOOK conversations begin with a simple question. Why would these two members be mentioned together? Why are fans watching their travel timing so closely? And what could be happening around a major international schedule that has not yet been fully explained? Let's start with what we actually know. BTS is currently in the middle of the Arirang World Tour, and Toronto is one of the major North American stops on the schedule. Official ticketing information lists BTS at Rogers Stadium in Toronto on Saturday, August 22, and Sunday, August 23, 2026. So, Canada is not a rumor. Toronto is officially part of the tour. That alone is already a huge moment for Canadian Army. But there is another detail that makes the Toronto stop particularly exciting. BTS has an official Arirang pop-up in Toronto, located at 144 Bloor Street West, with operations running from August 14 through September 13. The official Weverse notice also confirms that reservations were opened ahead of the pop-up's launch. So when fans hear that BTS is heading toward Toronto, there is already an entire ecosystem of official activities surrounding the visit. The concerts, the pop-up, the fan events, the citywide excitement, and now the growing conversation about individual member schedules. This is where Jimin and Jungkook enter the conversation. For JIKOOK fans, seeing their names connected to the same international destination naturally creates excitement. And let's be honest, Jiminverse family, you already know how quickly ARMY notices the smallest scheduling detail. A flight, an airport appearance, a brand event, a sponsor activation. A schedule that appears to happen shortly before a group concert. One detail can create thousands of theories within minutes. But our job here is not to turn every theory into a fact. Our job is to separate what is confirmed from what is being discussed. And right now, that is exactly what makes this story worth following. The confirmed part is straightforward. BTS has two scheduled concerts in Toronto. The first is August 22. The second is August 23. Both are scheduled at Rogers Stadium. Official ticketing listings continue to show those Toronto dates. And this comes immediately after the group's North American run through the United States. The tour schedule has already taken BTS through major cities, including East Rutherford, Foxborough, Baltimore, and Arlington before Toronto. After Toronto, the tour continues to Chicago and later Los Angeles. So from a practical scheduling perspective, travel into Canada around this period makes perfect sense. But then we have the phrase that has caught the attention of JIKOOK fans, special sponsor schedule. Now, this is where we need to slow down. A sponsor schedule can mean many things. It could involve a commercial appearance. It could involve a brand-related event. It could involve content production. It could be a private industry schedule. It could be connected to a campaign, or it could simply be a phrase circulating among fans without enough official documentation behind it. And those possibilities are very different. So if you have seen posts saying that Jimin and Jungkook are definitely arriving in Canada, first specifically because of a sponsor event, remember that the claim should remain labeled as unconfirmed until an official source provides the details. That does not mean the possibility is impossible. It simply means we should not present speculation as confirmation. And honestly, that is especially important when we're talking about Jimin and Jungkook, because these two names generate an enormous amount of attention. Fans are naturally curious about their schedules, their interactions, their travel, and their individual activities. But curiosity should never become an excuse to invent details. What we can talk about is the timing, and the timing is definitely interesting. BTS has a confirmed Toronto weekend. The city itself is preparing for the group's arrival in a major way. According to Yonhap, Toronto City Council approved a plan to temporarily co-name part of Yonge Street in North York as BTS Boulevard from August 21 through September 23. The city also planned to ask for the concert dates to be proclaimed BTS Weekend. Think about that for a moment. This isn't simply a concert stop. Toronto is turning the arrival of BTS into a major cultural moment. And that creates a much bigger environment for possible brand and sponsor activity. When a global group enters a city with enormous commercial attention, brands naturally want to participate. The artists themselves can become part of campaigns. The city becomes part of the story. Fans become part of the experience. And every schedule surrounding the main event suddenly becomes more visible. This is why the idea of an additional sponsor-related schedule has attracted attention. But there is another question. Why Jimin and Jungkook? Why are fans particularly interested in the possibility that these two could arrive earlier? There are several reasonable explanations, and none of them automatically proves anything beyond the existence of a possible schedule. First, individual members can have separate commitments around group activities. This is completely normal for artists of BTS's scale. A group concert does not necessarily mean every member has exactly the same schedule every hour of every day. Second, brand partnerships can involve individual members. Over the years, BTS members have developed their own individual professional identities, including fashion, beauty, music, entertainment, and commercial partnerships. Third, timing can be determined by production requirements. If a campaign requires filming, photography, interviews, rehearsals, or a private event, an artist may need to arrive before the rest of the group. And fourth, fans sometimes connect separate pieces of information before the official explanation arrives. That is where speculation begins. One schedule gets posted, another location appears, a brand account becomes active, fans notice unusual timing, and suddenly a theory spreads across social media. Sometimes the theory turns out to be correct. Sometimes it turns out to be completely unrelated. That is why we need patience. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. The Arirang Tour is not just another concert cycle. It represents BTS returning to a massive global stage, and the scale of the tour has already been reflected in the number of cities and stadium dates. Toronto is one of the major stops. And according to Live Nation's official announcement, the Toronto dates are August 22 and August 23 at Rogers Stadium. That means the window around August 21 through August 23 is naturally going to be extremely busy. Fans will be watching airport arrivals. Media outlets will be watching celebrity movements. Brands will be watching engagement. And the city will be preparing for tens of thousands of concertgoers. This is exactly the kind of environment where additional schedules can happen. But there is something else that JIKOOK fans should remember. Jimin and Jungkook have a long history of attracting attention whenever their names appear close together in a schedule. That doesn't necessarily tell us what their private plans are. It tells us something about the audience. The audience notices, the audience remembers, and the audience analyzes. For a content creator, that creates a temptation to exaggerate. A normal travel schedule can suddenly become a secret mission. A brand appearance can become a mystery project. Two members traveling near the same date can become a major theory. And that's where responsible fandom content matters. We can enjoy the excitement without pretending we know something that has not been officially announced. So, Jiminverse family, if you are asking me what is the most important thing to watch right now, I would say 3 things. Watch official BTS and big hit announcements. Watch verified sponsor or brand announcements, and watch the confirmed Toronto schedule. Those 3 sources will tell us much more than a screenshot circulating without context, and there is another reason to stay alert. The Toronto pop-up is already officially active. The Weverse announcement confirms that the BTS pop-up in Toronto runs from August 14 through September 13. That means the city already has an official BTS-branded attraction operating before the concerts. For fans arriving early, that creates another opportunity to experience the comeback atmosphere. For brands, it creates an enormous concentration of BTS-related consumer attention. And for individual artists, it creates a potentially valuable environment for promotional activity. Again, that does not confirm a Jimin and Jungkook sponsor event, but it explains why the timing is commercially significant. Now let's imagine the timeline. BTS performs in Arlington on August 15 and August 16. Then the next major North American stop is Toronto on August 22 and August 23. That gives the team several days between locations, and that gap is important. Because when people see a member potentially arriving earlier than expected, the natural question becomes, what happens during those days? Is it rest? Is it rehearsal? Is it production? Is it a private commitment? Is it brand work? Or is it simply normal travel planning? We don't know. And that's okay. Not knowing everything is part of following artists in real time. Sometimes the official announcement comes later. Sometimes there is no announcement at all because the schedule is private, and fans should respect that boundary, especially with airport activity. If Jimin and Jungkook do arrive in Canada, fans should remember that artists deserve privacy and safety while traveling. The exciting part is supporting their professional activities. The unsafe part is trying to track private movements or personal locations. We can celebrate an official appearance without turning someone's travel into a real-time investigation. That distinction matters. Now, let's return to the headline. Jimin and Jungkook will arrive first for a special sponsor schedule. As a headline, it is dramatic. It immediately gets attention. And for a JIKOOK-focused channel, we understand why fans would click. But the responsible interpretation is, there is growing discussion around the possibility of an earlier Canada arrival and a sponsor-related schedule, while the confirmed public information is the Toronto BTS concert schedule and official pop-up. That is the version we can stand behind, and honestly, it is still exciting. Because we already know Canada is about to become a major BTS zone, Toronto is preparing for the group. The concerts are officially scheduled. The pop-up is open. The city is planning special recognition. And BTS's North American tour is moving toward one of its biggest Canadian moments. Now, imagine the atmosphere when Jimin and Jungkook eventually appear in Toronto. Whether they arrive together, separately, earlier, or according to the group's regular schedule, fans will notice. And if there is an official sponsor activity, the moment the brand or agency confirms it, the story will become much clearer. This is why we should not rush. Sometimes waiting for the official announcement makes the reveal even better. And for JIKOOK fans, there is another layer to this. Jimin and Jungkook are two of the most recognizable members of BTS internationally. When either member participates in an individual campaign, the response can be enormous. When both names appear around the same event window, the interest naturally increases. But interest does not equal confirmation. That's the sentence I want every jiminverse family member to remember today. Interest does not equal confirmation. A rumor can be interesting. A theory can be fun. A possibility can be exciting. But an official announcement is what turns a possibility into news. And that is exactly how we will follow this story. Now, let's talk about what could happen next. The first possibility is that the sponsor schedule is officially confirmed. If that happens, we should expect more details about the brand, location, timing, purpose, and whether the activity involves both members together or separately. The second possibility is that there is no separate sponsor schedule. The members could simply be traveling in connection with the main BTS tour. That would also make complete sense. The third possibility is that one or both members have individual professional activities that are not publicly detailed until later. Again, this is common with major entertainment schedules, so there are multiple paths. And right now, the confirmed information supports the Canada trip itself because BTS has official Toronto concerts. The additional sponsor detail remains something to watch. One thing that is absolutely not in question is the scale of the Toronto event. Ticketmaster's Canadian listings show the August 22 and August 23 performances at Rogers Stadium. Live Nation also lists the same Toronto dates and venue. And the official Weverse pop-up notice gives fans another confirmed BTS-related activity in the city. So Canada is already confirmed as a major part of this chapter. That is the real story. And then there is the emotional side. For Canadian Army, seeing BTS return to Toronto is a huge moment. For international fans, watching the tour move from one city to another creates that feeling that the whole world is experiencing the same comeback together. And for JIKOOK fans, the possibility of seeing Jimin and Jungkook connected to the Canadian schedule naturally adds another layer of excitement. But let's keep the excitement healthy. We don't need to know every private detail to enjoy the public moments. We don't need to turn every airport photo into a theory. We don't need to assume that two schedules mean one secret explanation. We can simply watch, wait, and celebrate what is officially shared. And when something is confirmed, Jiminverse will be here to break it down. Now, another interesting point is the way the Toronto schedule fits into the broader tour. After Arlington on August 15 and 16, Toronto comes on August 22 and 23, followed by Chicago on August 27 and 28. That means the tour is moving rapidly through North America. For a stadium-scale production, logistics are enormous. Equipment has to move. Production teams have to prepare venues. Rehearsals have to be coordinated. Artists need travel time, and individual schedules have to fit around all of that. So when fans notice a member arriving at a destination ahead of the main event, there can be many professional reasons. It doesn't automatically indicate a secret project, but it can indicate that the member has additional work, and that's where the sponsor conversation becomes relevant. Global campaigns often require schedules that are separate from concerts. A member might need to film content. A brand might host a private event. A campaign could be timed around the artist's presence in a particular market, or a company might simply use the tour period to activate its partnership. Again, these are possibilities, not confirmations, but they explain why the timing deserves attention. And if the sponsor schedule does become official, the details will be important. Is it a Jimin schedule? Is it a Jungkook schedule? Is it both? Is it connected to a larger BTS partnership? Is it a public appearance? Is it invitation only? Is it a campaign shoot? Those questions will be answered only when the relevant parties release verified information. Until then, we can enjoy the anticipation. And I know what some of you are thinking. But Jiminverse, why are fans already talking about it? Because that's what happens when JIKOOK names appear around a major international schedule. The fandom is incredibly observant. Fans compare dates. They look at official calendars. They notice brand activity, they track public announcements, and they connect information across platforms. Sometimes that community research can uncover something before the official announcement, but sometimes it can also create false certainty. So our rule here is simple. We can discuss the possibility. We can discuss the timing. We can discuss why the theory is gaining attention. But we will not call an unconfirmed sponsor schedule a confirmed fact. That is how we keep the channel exciting without misleading anyone. And now, let's talk about the phrase, arrive first. This is another detail that deserves caution. Arriving first could mean several different things. It could mean arriving before the rest of the members. It could mean arriving earlier than the concert date. It could mean arriving separately because of an individual commitment. Or it could simply be language used by fans to describe an expected travel sequence. Without an official itinerary, we cannot know which interpretation is correct. So if you see a post saying Jimin and Jungkook will arrive first, check whether it provides a primary source. Is there an official statement? Is there a verified brand announcement? Is there a confirmed schedule? If the answer is no, treat it as a fan theory. That doesn't make the theory bad. It just means it belongs in the theory category, and there is nothing wrong with saying, fans are speculating. That is much more accurate than saying, this is confirmed. This distinction may sound small, but it makes a huge difference in entertainment news, especially when dealing with artists as globally followed as BTS. One inaccurate headline can be copied hundreds of times, then another account quotes that headline, then another account treats the second account as confirmation. And suddenly, a rumor looks like an official announcement. We don't want to contribute to that cycle. We want to give Jiminverse family the excitement and the facts. So here is where the story currently stands. BTS is officially scheduled to perform in Toronto on August 22 and 23. The venue is Rogers Stadium. The Toronto BTS pop-up is officially operating from August 14 through September 13. Toronto is also preparing special city recognition around the group's visit, including the planned temporary BTS Boulevard designation and a proposed BTS weekend. And the broader Arirang tour is continuing through North America. Those are the solid pieces. The Jimin and Jungkook early arrival sponsor schedule is the part we need to watch for official confirmation. And that is exactly why the next few days could be interesting. If a sponsor announcement appears, the story changes. If an official individual schedule appears, the story changes. If airport arrivals happen, fans will immediately start talking. And if Jimin and Jungkook are seen participating in an official activity together, you already know the internet will explode. But until that happens, let's not write the ending before the story has unfolded, because sometimes the reality is even more exciting than the theory. What we know is that BTS is going to Toronto. What we know is that the city is preparing. What we know is that the tour is moving at full speed. And what we are watching is whether Jimin and Jungkook have an additional public schedule connected to the Canadian stop. That is the real question. And Jiminverse family, I want to hear from you. Do you think the earlier arrival talk is connected to a sponsor activity? Do you think Jimin and Jungkook could have separate individual schedules? Or do you think fans are simply getting excited because Toronto is the next major BTS destination? Whatever your theory is, keep it respectful and clearly label it as a theory. Because the moment official information arrives, we can update the story with the facts. And there is one final thing I want to emphasize. This is not just about two members traveling to another country. It is about the enormous scale of BTS's return to the global stage. The Arirang tour is bringing the group back into stadiums across major cities. Toronto is one of those major stops. The city is embracing the arrival. The official pop-up is already part of the experience. And millions of fans around the world are watching every development. So whether Jimin and Jungkook have an additional sponsor schedule or not, Canada is already going to be a major moment for BTS and ARMY. And if an official sponsor announcement arrives, you can expect the JIKOOK conversation to become even louder. For now, though, keep your eyes on verified sources. Don't trust cropped screenshots without context. Don't treat fan-made schedules as official. And don't confuse speculation with confirmation. Because here at Jiminverse, we can be excited without losing accuracy. We can talk about theories without presenting them as facts. And we can enjoy JIKOOK moments while respecting Jimin and Jungkook as artists and as people. The Toronto countdown is already underway. BTS is scheduled for Rogers Stadium on August 22 and 23. The official Toronto pop-up is running. The city is preparing its own BTS celebration. And now, everyone is watching to see what happens around the individual schedules of the members. So yes, Jiminverse family, Canada is officially happening. The Toronto chapter is real. The concert dates are real. The pop-up is real. The excitement is very real. But the special sponsor schedule involving Jimin and Jungkook, that is the part we are watching for confirmation. And honestly, that is enough to keep the conversation going. Because if there is one thing we have learned from following BTS, it is that the official announcement can arrive at any moment. One post, one notice, one brand statement, one schedule update, and suddenly everything becomes clear. Until then, let's enjoy the anticipation. Let's support Jimin. Let's support Jungkook. Let's support all 7 members. And let's send the biggest welcome to BTS as they prepare to bring Arirang to Toronto. Jiminverse family, if you enjoyed this update, stay close because the Canada schedule is moving quickly and new information could change the picture at any moment. And remember, here at Jiminverse, we don't need to turn rumors into facts to make the story exciting. We can follow the clues, respect the artists, check the official information, and still have fun together. So tell me, Jiminverse family, are you excited for Toronto? Are you watching for a possible Jimin and Jungkook sponsor schedule? And what do you think happens first? The concert weekend, an individual schedule, or a surprise announcement? Keep your theories respectful, keep your eyes on official updates, and most importantly, keep supporting BTS. This is Jiminverse. And the Canada chapter is just getting started.